O'Keefe here, and I'm with Mrs. Comstock here, and we are in the classroom. We are so excited because we all get to be together on Monday. So we're going to read a story together, okay? And this one is about a little penguin and his brother, and it's also a rhyming book. So I want you to be listening for the words that rhyme. You're going to listen for a word that rhymes with the ip sound at the end, and another word that rhymes with the op. Okay, has the op sound at the end. So we're going to start off with, it's time to read a book, and I want you to sing it with me at home, okay? You ready? It's time to read a book. It's time to read a book. Hey ho, we all know it's time to read a book. The title tells us the name. The title tells us the name. Hey ho, we all know the title tells us the name. The author writes the words. The author writes the words. Hey ho, we all know the author writes the words. The illustrator draws the pictures. The illustrator draws the pictures. Hey ho, we all know the illustrator draws the pictures. So the title of our story is Flip and Flop. Which one do you think is Flip and which one do you think is Flop? We'll have to read the story and see if we can figure it out from the illustrations. Now, the author's name is Dawn Apperly, and she is also the illustrator, so she did both jobs. She's the author, she wrote the words, and she's the illustrator, so she drew all the pictures. Don't forget to listen to those rhyming words. Flip and flop. Whee, said Flip. Look at me. I can stand on one leg. Me too, spluttered Flop. I can do it too. Did you figure out which one is Flip and which one's Flop yet? But he couldn't, and toppled slowly over into the snow. Flip was 5. Flop was 2. Whatever Flip did, Flop did too. I think now we know who Flop is, right? Flop's the one, the littler brother who flopped in the snow. I'm making a snow penguin, said Flip. Me too, said Flop. I'm in my secret hideout, said Flip. Me too, said Flop. In fact, whatever Flip did, Flop did too. Flip and Flop played a made-up game called Boomba. They jumped into the snow, bouncing on their bottoms. Boomba, shouted Flip. Boomba, shouted Flop. Flop loved playing Boomba with Flip. He could play it forever. But sometimes Flip wanted to play other games. One day, Flip was on the play slope, playing slip slide with his friend Hip. Flop waddled over. Let's play Boomba, said Flop excitedly. Flip loved Flop. Flop loved Flip, but sometimes Flip thought his little brother was a pest. Sometimes it's hard to be little brothers or sisters, or big brothers and sisters too, right? And sometimes you want to play with your own friends. And I think that's what happened with Flip. No, said Flip. I want to play slip slide with Hip. Not Boomba with you. No way. Oh, look at Flop's face. Flop felt sad. He shuffled away. Poor Flop. Now look at, this is Hip and this is Flip. Do you notice anything about their names? Hip, Flip. They rhyme, don't they? Flop waddled and shuffled and waddled, up and down, around and around, in and out, until he had wandered far, far away from Flip. He looks so sad, doesn't he? Flop found a new play slope and started to play Boomba alone. Boomba, shouted Flop and fell down, started to cry. Boomba is no fun on my own, sniffled Flop. It is boring and cold. At the top of the slope, someone was watching him. bear came sliding down. My name is Hop. Who are you? Said the little bear. I'm Flop, said Flop, grinning. You want to play Boomba with me? Yes, said Hop with a big smile. Together they jumped into the snow, bouncing on their bottoms. Boomba! Shouted Flop and Hop so loudly as they could. They were having a really good time. Did you notice anything about their names? This is Hop, and this is Flop. Hop, Flop. Both end with op. They rhyme. My brother didn't want to play with me today, said Flop. Mine didn't either, said Hop. I'm happy I played with you, said Flop. Me too, said Hop. Soon it was time to go home. The two friends skipped back to the play slope. At the play slope, Flip and Hip were bored with playing slip slide. They looked gloomy. Gloomy is another word for sad. Flip, this is my friend Hop, said Flop proudly. And he's my baby brother, said Hip. Let's all play together, said Flip, and make up a new game, added Flop. That's a great idea, isn't it? Let's call it compromise. Flip, Flop, Hip, and Hop invented a new game called Slip, Slide, Boomba. They whizzed, slipped, slid, jumped, and all together shouted, Boomba! It looks like they had a great time. And they took the game that the older brothers were playing and they combined it with the game that the little brothers were playing, put it together and made a whole new game that they could all have fun playing with. Good story. And we have some more great stories waiting for you when you come back to school on Monday, and we cannot